So the most obvious reason that people remortgage is that their existing lender's deal, their initial deal, is coming to its end. So when you took out your first mortgage, let's say you did a 2-year or a 5-year fixed rate when you bought your property, ultimately that deal comes to its end. And if you take no action, then you'll drop onto the lender's standard variable rate of interest. Normally for most customers, what that means is your payments are going to increase, and that's never a good idea. So when that happens, sometimes your lender will write to you in advance and say your deal's coming to its end and your payments are going to go up, or your deal's coming to its end, your payments are going to go up, but we're going to give you an option of what they call a follow-on deal or a product transfer because they want to retain you as a customer. And it's usually a quick and easy process to take up one of those products. However, the deals that the lenders offer you on a product transfer when your deal ends, your initial deal ends, are usually not as competitive as deals that you can get elsewhere. So the lenders are kind of relying on your inertia and laziness a bit to just click on and say, yes, I'll have that new deal that you're offering, without going back to the market and going through the slight pain of having to provide all your pay slips and bank statements again in order to get yourself a better deal elsewhere. So the very minimum that you should do if you get offered a product transfer from your lender is contact us to see how much you could save by swapping to a different lender. And depending on how much you owe, those savings can sometimes run into the thousands of pounds. So don't just take the first product that the lender offers you. Make sure you take advice before you lock into a new deal. And big savings can be made. That said, it can cost money in terms of fees to swap elsewhere. So what we would do for you is, if there are fees connected with swapping mortgage lenders, for example, legal fees or fees to ourselves for doing the work on your behalf and giving you that advice, then we'll factor those in when we recommend whether or not it's the right thing for you to be doing to swap lenders. And we make a recommendation, and then as a customer, it's up to you whether or not you decide to stay with your current lender on the deal that they've offered or move elsewhere. But normally, quite often now, it's still in your interest to swap lenders and go through that slight pain of the paperwork involved to make that switch. One of the other main reasons that customers swap lenders or remortgage is that they want to raise some capital. So most lenders will allow you to do this subject to maximum loan-to-value limits. Some of the most popular reasons for remortgaging to raise capital tend to be debt consolidation. So that's consolidating things like credit cards into your mortgage. But be careful with this as well, because whilst customers can make big savings on their monthly outgoings by rolling those debts into their mortgage, of course, you're securing debt that's currently unsecured, and you'll end up paying back more interest because a mortgage typically might run for 20 or 30 years, and you're extending the term of that credit commitment over that length of time. But as long as you're going into that with your eyes wide open, those savings can be made by rolling those debts into your mortgage. But you must take advice before you go ahead and do anything like that. The other major reason for capital raising tends to be home improvements. So rather than move house and go into the expense and the stress of moving your family and moving your home, people can extend their property or put in a new kitchen or bathroom, and lenders tend to allow you to do this. Sometimes you'll need to provide estimates for the works that are going to be done, especially if they're substantial works that are going to be done. And those are the main reasons for a remortgage. And of course, we're happy to help with any advice that you need in this area. Thanks for watching the video. We do rely on user-generated content, so please subscribe if you found the information useful, and send me a question in the comments below or drop me an email and I'll do my best to answer it.